And coming here live from the Zemlya Leopard National Park in Manchuria. We are here with the 26th edition of ESL Open Cup Pro Tour Asia. I am your host, Yaku of Yakuzaku, and with me today I have El Gestor de Memes Más Picante himself, Light_VIP. How are you doing, Light?
I don't know if that title accurately depicts who I am, but sure, okay.
Yeah, good enough.
God damn it. And yeah, we are back after a long week, and we have a bit of a treat today.
That we do. It's a little bit of an encore, if you will, of last Saturday. But to get on with it, here we have in the top right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top right-hand corner of the map, we have the Reds come down all the way from Brisbane, Australia. He is representing Downfall Gaming. You know him as Path We Tread. We know him as Oreo.
I'm proud you remembered where he's from.
Yeah.
Every other Aussie,
because he hangs about with what's his name, Azure.
Yeah.
Every other I don't remember. That's one other Brisbane player that I know. Ryan. That's oh, mate, Ryan.
And speaking of old mate, spawning in here in the bottom left-hand corner of Everdream LE, we have the Korean Terran representing Team GP. It is James.
Man, Light, I'm getting some major deja vu vibes coming in here. We have not only the Brisbane boy coming out from Oreo, we have a GP boy coming out from James. And is this just the B-side to GPO?
Yes, this is GPO 2.0 basically.
Exactly. Except instead of Azure, we have Oreo, and instead of Go-Go Joe, we have James. Inverted races, by the way, I want to point that out.
Yeah. And Oreo, he isn't the only player from our scene who's playing today. You mentioned it, right? Like, it's cool that we're continuing on from last week. Last week we had a bunch of C players sign up. This week we have a bunch of Aussies as well as C players sign up. So it's really cool to see that they're taking part in more than just like the region-specific tournaments.
Yeah, that we are. Speaking of things that are pretty cool, this is a build that I've not seen in years, especially in the TBZ.
I'm getting flashbacks. I remember now. James beat Probe a couple of weeks ago. I say a couple of months ago. Do you remember?
Maybe.
It was a situation where we didn't get to cast James versus Probe. We casted James versus the player in the next round, and we were like, "What happened?" And then people in chat told us that James cheesed that Probe with proxy rasters.
Well, at least this time it wasn't quite a proxy, but yeah, this is going to be a very annoying build for Oreo to deal with. And the Reapers just keep getting on. Is that +1 I'm seeing out of James right now, Light?
What is it?
Page out of the Singapore meta. These Reapers are going to be even deadlier. Which, to be fair, Reapers aren't that deadly, but...
Yeah, we didn't even notice that the NG Bay was thrown down. He forces the cancel on the third base. Luckily enough, it did buy Oreo a little bit of time, so now he has a couple of queens, he has his lings, but oh god, these Reapers, they can do a lot.
Exactly, especially in the hands of a very precise micro player. I have to see what James can really do with them. Reapers are the kind of units where they have a lot of potential, but you really have to be the best Reaper user to really maximize that potential. Otherwise, you're not going to do a lot.
Yeah, definitely. And again, I'm not too sure how this is going to play out, especially once +1 kicks in. Like, how hard are these Reapers going to hit?
Well, we will see. There are enough Reapers right now to one-shot these Zerglings, and so long as James can stay off creep, he should be able to kite these Lings, which is why I do like that Oreo backs away. But
yeah. Already one queen got sniped though, which it had a decent amount of energy as well. So only 2 queens remain here. Another is in production, but he's gonna get surrounded.
We're gonna get sandwiched. But here's the thing, like James has a lot of KD8 charges. Oh, look at that, using the charge, but unfortunately that actually bounces these Reapers up the cliff. And yeah, I don't think this is gonna get much done.
Yeah, everything gets cleaned up, and yeah, even though Oreo did lose a queen, like, oh, that was so many Reapers just going down the drain as soon as everything got surrounded, and Oreo, now it's his turn to start applying some pressure.
It's 41 Lings versus 3 Reapers right now, like, how's this gonna go? You have to make the absolute best, most use of his KD8 charges.
He has to be careful not to charge though. Like, what if he ends up like pushing a bunch of Lings like over the wall, like on his side? You know, like it's kind of a double-edged sword.
Yeah, we'll see what can get done. Oreo's taking a more cautious approach here. He's waiting for his Baneling Nest to finish up. +1 has just about finished up for James, so unfortunately not able to really make use of it on the other side of the map, but this will help his defense a little bit.
Yeah, I love how he's continuing to make upgrades. Like, he's getting +1 defense as well. He's like, yes, I know exactly what I'm doing, and sure,
he got 2 more barracks so he can make 5 Reapers at a time. James, you're gonna want to calm down after a while, buddy.
I'm just surprised that he's not making a bunker. Like, he's just going pure Reaper right now. He's not committing to any other kind of defense.
Well, if you think about it, right, what is the Reaper's best asset? It's the mobility that you get behind it. So if you're gonna put any unit in a bunker, then you're probably gonna want to switch to Marines here. But we know James, he is nothing if not committed.
Yeah, and interesting decision here by Oreo. He decided not to go for the Bane bus. Instead, he backed off and he's saving all his gas for Mutalisks instead.
Well, you know, Reapers don't shoot up.
This is accurate.
Yeah, it very much is. Alright, not the best use of these grenades, but just trying to get a little bit of zoning done. He's not really getting much done other than that, though.
Yeah, he does kind of force the Lings back. He does have to be careful not to go too far into creep, because another situation could arise where he gets surrounded again.
Yeah, it definitely can. We already see the Queens trying to come into the flank. And right now, it's a little bit of a delicate dance right here on this creep.
Yeah, and we do see that +1 come into effect. He already killed one of the Queens, but it looks like Oreo, he's starting to sandwich the army.
Yeah, but James is starting to go into the corner, and these Lings aren't going to get the most use out from here, but it seems like there is enough. The Queens are also targeting the Reapers that are blocked instead of the ones that are coming in. So yeah, once again, James kind of threw away a lot for nothing there. 30 Reapers have gone down this game.
Jesus.
And Oreo has not lost a single lick of gas.
Yeah, and I'm not too sure if he scouted the Spire, but he's already throwing down turrets. He's switching to Marines, which is a nice transition, but he's so behind when it comes to tech. Like, he doesn't have stim, he doesn't have like combat shields either, like no add-ons on any of these Raxes.
Yeah, I think he is starting to switch that out now. He's starting to get his factory, which is a little bit, you know, I'm a little pessimistic right now, like, it seems a little bit late here.
It is very much so late, and we'll see. I feel like James, he may have like one last push in him with these Marines. Again, like against Mutalisks, Marines are pretty good, but oh god, without stim,
well, there are only 3 Mutalisks out on the map right now. So yeah, Oreo's not really going to get a lot done if he pushes in right now. But if he continues to start building up the Mute account and also get this one Corruptor... Okay, cancel it.
Yeah, I'm just really curious what James's plan is at the moment, because he made the factory, but he only really made it looks like just for the starport to start, I am guessing, medevac production. And yeah, he's just competing with continuing to just throw down more and more upgrades, sticking with this bio. And yeah, we'll see how this push can go. I mean, to be fair, like, he has decent upgrades.
That he does. He already has his 1-1, and he's going to armory to start getting plus 2-2 on the way. Very good placement on these Marines, but this Tech Lab is pretty exposed. Thankfully, it is only concussive shell. It's not the worst thing in the world to lose that upgrade.
Yeah.
Don't want to lose it, though. Is he going to lose it? He does.
Oh, no, the Corruptor.
It does get chased away there.
Yeah. And again, like the Mr. Tart placement is solid, so Oreo he's having a hard time like breaking in or finding a good angle. But regardless, like he's on 4 bases, he's droning up. I say droning up, he's not droning up, he's making nothing but links. Finally now starting on his own upgrades, incredibly behind compared to James. But in the end, will it really matter? I mean, we'll see.
Well, it's gonna depend a lot on how much time Oreo decides to give James here, isn't it? Because James is really starting to build up his army. He doesn't have a very healthy economy, but all of that production he put in earlier on in the game, it's really starting to show its effects right now. It is pure bio mine coming out from James. We have a couple of medevacs, and honestly, bio mine, if Oreo isn't careful, he could just lose his army and have James counterattack immediately.
Yeah, I love that James is starting to incorporate mines into this. Like, this is probably the unit that he needs to be able to, like, somehow, like, have an amazing engagement and just have this swing in his favor. Like, that's the ideal situation, right? Where, like,
exactly.
The mines, like, maybe they can kill all the banelings or something.
Exactly. Tanks, they're a bit more reliable, but they don't have that, that massive amount of unit cancellation that mines do. And you need a lot of them.
Yeah. And to be fair, like, mines are, like, unreliable, right, as you said, but, like, again, like, there is that chance that, like, the best hits go off, and everything changes.
Exactly, and there are ways to try to minimize that chance. Alright, the engagement is starting to go in. Not really liking James's placement right now, but he is starting to send the Marauders to the front, seeing if they can soak up some bailing shots. Oreo is just buying time right now. Force upgrades to finish up, and look at that light. This is the power of a well-upgraded bio army. The Mutalisk cannot get a lot done. Very nice splits coming out from James right now. And here come the mines light.
Oh god, all the banelings go down. The splits are decent, but it looks like there just isn't enough bio here to clean up the lings.
WW. Oreo takes game number 1. Those overseers were the real MVP right there.
Yeah.
Not sure if you noticed, but they did clear out the mines.
Yeah, all the mines end up going down. And we didn't get to point it out, but the armory was done as well, so the mines were invisible. But yeah, it was a really nice engagement, to be fair, from both sides. But obviously, like, James, he was very far behind in terms of production and economy. Economy is probably the biggest thing.
Oh yeah, this is what can happen when you have a very committed opening like that, and it just doesn't get a lot done. And to be fair, I was actually really liking James's position going into that. I feel like he just might have miscalculated a little.
Yeah, I think regardless, like, even though he lost the fight, like, he was down, like, almost double supply. Like, he had, like, half the supply of Oreo. And despite that, like, he traded fairly well. Like, his controls seemed decent or good enough. He was just generally far behind because of how the openers turned out.
I'm with you there. So with that, we have a couple of updates here on the bracket. Armani taking out Starduck 2-0. And Dream taking out Darking 2-0 as well there. Wowee.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I want to know what Darking did, like, those games. I don't really know how he plays.
Yeah, I have no idea either. I know
to be fair, going up against Dream, that's got to be rough, but yeah, I'm just curious what he threw out.
Yeah, like, did he play cheesy? Did he play straight up? And what does straight up even mean for the godfather of Latin America?
Exactly. Cats.
No, he's El Pastor. They each have their titles.
Something like that. And speaking of titles, here we are now, coming down in the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ice and Chrome. We have our Reds coming down all the way from the land of Brisbane. He is the player who has I forgot his nickname. It's been a while. It has been a while, but he is representing Downfall Gaming. You know him as Path We Tread. We know him as Oreo.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ice and Chrome LE, we have the Korean Terran player representing Team GP. It is James.
GP.
And it looks like he's going for a similar opener, if not the same opener.
Well, 2 Raxes that are rallied across the map, Light. I wonder what this is for.
It's for Marauders.
Hell yeah. In a TVZ. They do so well versus Lings. That's a 3rd Rax being thrown down.
Yep. So if we're gonna see it again, these Reapers are heading across the map, and I'm really curious what is going through Oreo's mind, especially because it all came flooding back to me at the beginning of game 1, where Oreo was actually in the chat. He was actually watching Probe stream when we saw James, and when James debuted on this channel as well as this incredibly cheesy Terran player who, if you don't recall, he's yeah, he was he is the I think he's head of social media for Team GP. Like he's like he's not a player per se, he's like part of the management side of things.
Right. So
and yeah,
like, what's his name? You know, the guys who are on Legacy, but they're not part of the main Legacy. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's like them. So yeah, I'm just curious to see how he does. Like sometimes, again, he comes out with the upsets. He's able to take out some of these players who don't know how he plays. But Oreo, he's pretty familiar with him.
Yeah, or as familiar as one can really be from watching a third person's perspective from a stream.
Yeah.
Or a second person's perspective, I should say. So we're gonna see if Oreo's gonna be able to adapt to this. He did get a couple of links a little bit. Actually, those I believe those are actually on the same time. It's just that Ice and Chrome, it's a much larger map with a much different rush distance.
Yeah,
again, this third base is gonna be threatened.
Yeah, the distance is longer, so it did take a little bit longer for the Reapers to get here. Again, NG Bay is being thrown behind this once again, so gonna go for that +1. And I think I feel like it's really gonna come down to, is James gonna get surrounded again, or is he gonna be a little bit more conservative with his first round of Reapers?
Well, we already know what Oreo's thinking about this, so yeah, it's gonna be a little bit more onto James right now. Takes out that third base and decides to back away. Will he go around back into natural? Metabolic Boost is about to finish up here, and once that's done, it's really a matter of just surrounding these Reapers and not getting KD8 charged.
Exactly, like he has to make sure. Oh, I do like this. He does cancel some creep trimmers or kill some creep trimmers, so he keeps the creep back for Oreo, but he has to be so careful when he comes up here.
That he does. And one queen is going to go down. It is still alive in the moment, and Oreo right now does not have enough to really sandwich this his Reaper army like he'd like to.
Yeah, that was really lucky there by Oreo. Really well played that he was able to save that queen. Tried to snipe another creep trimmer.
Is he gonna get it? Gets it with the grenade. Nicely done.
Wow.
I don't think he even realized it was there. Oh no, that was a fresh tumor. Yeah, he saw that.
I like to think it was completely precise and on point, and yeah, we'll see. Like, is he gonna be careless with this? Ooh, the Lings. Oh, they're gonna wrap around.
They are gonna wrap around. These queens are providing enough of a front line. Oh, but a little bit indecisive right now, Oreo is. And does not manage to get that sandwich that he wanted to.
Yeah, he didn't commit to it. So James, he does manage to sneak away with his Reapers, and again, he's kept them alive so far. As long as he can keep doing this, and oh my god, he has to be careful there a little bit. But as long as he can keep doing this, and +1 kicks in, like he'll be fine. Oh god.
Yeah, that he will. The KD8 charge actually working a little bit against his favor right now, as it does allow the Lings to go get a bit of a wraparound, and we see already a couple of Reapers going down. There's not a way to escape right now for James, except through the hurt. And look at this, Light. Such a brilliant block, but the KD8 charge is actually going to be hurting James's Reapers more than it helps them.
Yeah,
and this is just about going to be cleared out.
Exactly. Once again, like, what +1 just finished after he lost so many Reapers. Like, oh god, 12 Reapers went down, and if he was just a little bit more conservative with them, waiting for that upgrade, then maybe things would have changed. It's hard to say because I don't really know how much that upgrade really impacts this. Like it's not like we see this often. Like we don't know.
I mean, how much damage does a single shot of a Reaper do? I believe it was around 10 question mark, something like that. So 11 damage, that ain't bad.
Yeah, especially with so many Reapers, right? But already that Reaper count was cut in half, and he's continuing to apply pressure here. The Queens, one did fall, but nice transfuses keeps the others alive. Oh!
One of them is gonna fall. It does not fall. But the Creep Tumor does, so who really lost there?
He's really vigilant when it comes to clearing out that creep.
Yeah, he is. He knows that he really can't allow these Lings to get any more mobility than they possibly can. Those are the only units right now that can really match the Reaper from Oreo. So he's just trying to keep them as slow as he possibly can.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, behind this Oreo, he actually is getting a third base as well. I don't know if James noticed. And yeah, as you pointed out, if he did, maybe he would have been applying pressure there, especially without creep connecting. Like the Queens wouldn't be able to really support the third. But yeah, and the Spire is going down as well behind this. No bailing this time.
Yeah, I think James has, or Oreo, I should say, has just about realized, yeah, he's not going to get anti-air unless I force him to. So let's take advantage of this and, you know, really clear out these Reapers with some Mutalists. The other unit that can match the Reaper's mobility. But that doesn't really count, it's a flying unit, so.
Yeah, so far, like, he's doing decent damage. There's a good Reaper count here once again, and I don't know if the Ling count is quite there. It looks like Oreo with reinforcements, he may try and get us around. Oh!
Yeah, I don't think the Ling count is really there, but he is just buying time for his Mutalists to come out right now. He's banking up his gas, and there we go, 5 Mutalists on the way. James, however, now realizes the third base.
Yeah.
Oh, but he's not committing to it.
Yeah, it's a hard choice to make, right? Like, you gotta be thinking to yourself, like, oh, how long was that third base there, right? Like, he could have been denied so long ago. Yeah, I think he's just gonna try and go for the kill.
Yeah, he is. That's what he's looking for. And it's a pretty good concave on these Reapers, but I think it's just about too late right now. Mutalists are coming in, and yeah, this is about to be the beginning of the end here. Or maybe not. This does force James to do as much damage as he possibly can. And not getting a lot of economic damage, but he did get a couple of Queens. But now all the Reapers are gone. It is 30 army supply from Oreo versus 6 from James.
Yeah, and I think
none of them shoot up.
None of them shoot up. There are missile turrets being thrown out at home because, you know, he already had that engineering base. So defensively, he should be okay. When it comes to the worker count, you know, James is actually like equal on worker count as well. I think the big thing is that maybe could have changed the situation of this game right now is that if James had realized that the third was being taken, I do think that he probably could have like denied it.
A couple more times. Really keep Oreo down economically.
Yeah.
Because right now they're about even, but that is not at all the position that James wants to be.
Yeah, definitely, and that was really well done there by Oreo. He was able, like, in the midst of all that chaos, like, he was able to sneak out a drone and get that third base. So he has basically established himself, like, incredibly well economically. He's even getting a fourth base now, and the Mutalists, they force James to stay at home, like, he has map control.
That they do. And now James is just, or Oreo, sorry, is just taking a look around James's base, realizing you really don't have much, do ya? We should see a counterattack and a Ling Flood coming down fairly soon, but, yeah, Oreo getting that Baneling Nest just wants to play it a little bit more safe. He's not certain that he can kill James just yet.
Yeah, I love how Oreo has adapted from game number one. Game number one, it took him a lot longer to get Mutalists out, but because he got them out a lot sooner, that means Oreo has that map control and he can be a lot more greedy and drone up and just, you know, get himself where he wants to be. Like, he's working on his Evo chambers as well. Like, Oreo, he's just getting, like, more and more ahead.
Yeah, and just continuing to be a bit annoying here. There are a lot of missile turrets out. But there are these little nooks and crannies where he can get a building or two, and that's just going to be putting a bit more pressure on James there. It's going to make sure that James can't be too comfortable to macro up.
Yeah, definitely. And I also love that I just now noticed that Oreo, you know, other than those initial, like, mutalists, he hasn't really committed too much to them. Like, he's, you know, realized that, again, like, James, he could just completely go, like, full anti-air. Like, Oreo still needs that ground army to support his mutalists. Exactly. So he does, yeah, he's, like, investing in those upgrades.
These mutalists are really close to mine range right now, like, but they're also close to turret range, which is actually helping out, Oreo right now.
Yeah.
Being a little cautious around that area. Alright, the Lynx are starting to throw themselves to the other side of the map, waiting for this Overseer to finish up.
Yeah, and again, like, I love that he was also starting Overlord Speed as well, again, to support that Overseer, to make sure it's there with his army for those Widow Mines. So, you know, Oreo, he's just, you know, making sure he has everything he needs. He's just macroing up, and, like, again, just like previously, I feel like it's going to come down to the Widow Mine hits. Like, how good are they going to be?
Exactly. Oh, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
So a couple more of that, and James can really turn this game around, but, again, Widow Mines are not the most reliable form of AoE.
Yeah, but that was pretty decent. You know, 3 Mutalists went down in that little engagement, so decently traded for James, especially since he didn't lose any Widow Mines or anything like that. And interestingly enough, as opposed to the previous game, James, he's being very defensive and he's getting a 3rd base. You know, in game number 1, instead, he stayed on 2 base and he tried to push out across the map to end the game. This time, he's expanding.
Yeah, I wonder if the rush distance is a factor that's really at play here. Another Mutalist does go down. So again, if James can continue to get this sort of incremental damage going in, eventually it's going to stack up. If you look at the army supply, Oreo is not that far ahead. His real advantage right now is in his economy, but 3 orbital commands. It'll take a little while for James to get back in economically, but I can absolutely foresee or imagine a scenario where James is on equal footing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, right now, like, they are pretty similar with their army supplies. James, he's ahead in terms of upgrades. He's about to finish 2-2 of all things. Jesus Christ. So he's going to be well ahead in terms of upgrades. So yeah, James, I feel like he just needs to defend well, you know, macro up, and then maybe even wait for 3-3. But it looks like he may not wait that long. It looks like he's going for this 2-2 timing.
Yeah, which is, I mean, I feel like that's the sort of textbook response, right? As a Terran player, you want to be putting, or trying to kill your Zerg opponent before they can really get to the late game. So when you get this +2, or this 2-2 timing, you have a window of opportunity to attack. But unfortunately, James doesn't really know what we know, which is, you know, how close these two really are in terms of their economic standing.
Yeah, definitely. And to be fair, like, when it comes to their army, because of how close they are, like, I would give the edge to James. More Mutalists go down, and yeah, like, James, he's trading so incredibly well, but a lot of it is going to come down to this engagement with the ground army.
That it will. Drilling Claws is on its way as well here, Light. So James is going to have to be a little bit careful right now in terms of his Widow Mine. So a little bit of friendly fire there. Not the best connections, but this might be. Okay, pretty good. A pretty good chunk of the Banelings get taken out, but there's so much more here coming out of Oreo. I like that little concave. I like forcing Oreo coming off a creep, but unfortunately, just a little bit too late towards the end there.
Yeah, definitely. And even though all the Banelings went down, there's still just so many reinforcing Lings. Like, James is pushed back to his 3rd base. Meanwhile, I do believe a bunch of SCVs went down as well.
Don't believe so, yeah.
Yeah,
he just wasn't making them.
Yeah. Like, the SCVs were right at his 3rd base. He just sent them all to his natural. That's why he's oversaturated. Interesting.
Alright, okay. But yeah, I feel like if James waited a couple of seconds later, or didn't wait a couple of seconds, either or, right? He basically just came in at the absolute wrong moment to engage into Oreo. If he waited a couple of seconds later, or he pushed in a couple of seconds earlier, I feel like that would have been a bit of a different story.
Yeah, I think as that engagement was about to begin, you pointed out that Drilling Claws hadn't even been finished yet, and I do think that's maybe a little bit of an oversight. Maybe that should have been prioritized a little bit sooner.
Towards the end of that engagement, we actually saw a couple of reinforcing Widow Mines that unfortunately could not quite borrow because Drilling Claws was quite complete. Ooh, that's a nice little hit onto the Mutalist, but gonna be softening them up, but not really doing much outside of that.
Oh.
Yeah, and James just decides to pounce on top of this, borrows the mines, but a very nice split coming out from Oreo. Only 2 mines still have a charge left in them.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Almost all the mines were triggered in that, and...
I feel like James is just gonna get swept away.
Yeah, this is pretty much his entire army, and it does get surrounded. In the end, the Mutalists, they do clean up, and Oreo, he takes this second engagement, and now James, yeah.
And one more other thing to really keep in mind here, Light, is that James has not been expanding or building SCVs outside of this. He really cannot allow Oreo to live for much longer, and so he decides to tap out. GG is called, or WW in this case. Alright, so I'm really impressed with what we saw mechanics-wise coming up from James. Unfortunately, I think his sense of timing or his decision-making was a little bit off, but other than that, yeah, Team GP. Absolutely making their mark. First with Super, then with Gogo Joey, now with James.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. That was really impressive to see. I do think that James, like, Game 2 was more impressive than Game 1, right? Like, we did see him get
it was a bit
better.
Closer.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, and so with that, Oreo, the man himself, one of the absolute most hyped players from the ANZ region, is gonna move on to face... Oh no. Oh no. He's going on to face SOS, and you thought James was cheesy.
Yep. I already messaged Oreo. We are going to be following him into a series versus SOS, and oh boy, I'm curious to see if SOS is even going to play Protoss. Like, he did off race a couple weeks ago.
I feel like now that his group is over, yeah, he really has an option. Or he really can pick and choose. I would love if SOS decides to off race or play random. But again, we'll have to see. I wouldn't mind seeing an SOS play Protoss, though. I feel like this is a story, right, Light, where we've cast a lot of Protoss players on this channel. And we've casted players who are kind of similar-ish to SOS, but none of them have really gone all the way there.
Yeah, definitely. And before we do go on, Yaku, can you turn yourself up a little bit on OBS? Or if you cannot, can you turn me down a little bit in Discord?
Right, I keep forgetting that there's a gain setting that's on OBS.
Yeah, I'd rather you not mess with the gain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so if you can't turn yourself up anymore, then turn me down a little bit.
Yeah, I've just about turned you down.
Okay, cool. Sweet. So yeah. You know, when it comes to the audio, you know, give us feedback and make sure like we're well balanced. But yeah, I'm really excited to see Oreo play, especially because honestly, we haven't really seen much from him.
Exactly.
Towards the start of the year, he was a little more active in like ANZ tournaments. But in recent times,
then his semester came up.
Yeah, in recent times he hasn't. Obviously, like he's been focusing a lot on university, on his course. Like he's been focusing on his studies, which we don't fault him for. Which is why it's a treat to see him here.
But now it's winter.